GAY and all of your other bars obviously take most of your money, I imagine, after 10 p.m. So it's going to decimate your business.
Yeah, I mean, before we talk about it, can I ask you a question, Dan?
Of
Because I want to
course.
throw this at you, because then it helps to prove a point I want to make. You've been to GAY late. You came recently since we made all the changes to what I think is COVID safe. Did you feel safe in there?
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, honestly, you had done most than virtually any other club or anything I've been into, but you have plastic up in between the sheets. There was a queuing system, so you never got within 2 meters if you were lining up for a drink at the bar, if you were lining up outside. I thought it was totally safe, completely responsible. There was security constantly going around, making sure no one was intermingling in different groups, making sure no one stood up. And this is what annoys me so much, Jeremy. I feel like business owners, entrepreneurs like yourself have taken these rules seriously, have provided a COVID safe space, and it's now been thrown back into your face.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, obviously, I went to a couple of the Black Lives Matters marches, and I felt very, very. It made me realize how scared I was to be out on the street with people. And it made me realize before we came back to reopening that I needed to make the venue safe, not just for customers, but for my own mental health. I wanted to feel safe in my own environment. I didn't feel safe within crowds. So we created venues that I felt safe in as well. So therefore, hopefully customers and staff would feel safe. I'm so angry with Boris today for so many reasons. I mean, one is that how many bars or clubs or restaurants did anyone from the government actually go to and see what we've done? It's like we've been labelled unsafe without actually knowing what we've done. So that's why I asked you that, because I feel that we've done a great job in hopefully making the venue safe. Um, there's been no explanation and understanding into why 10 p.m. I mean, first of all, this now means that everyone shuts at the same time. There's no stagnation in closing. So we all close at the same time. That means that everybody will be using public transport
Yeah.
at the same time. How does that make everybody safe?
Well, the
At
streets are going to
least
go
if
crazy, aren't they, Jeremy? Because everyone's going to be coming out drunk at 10 p.m., looking for a place to go, looking for trouble, looking for partying on the streets. And actually, I think that could actually cause more issues than
Well, you've
keeping
got you've got
the
you've
venues
got several
open.
issues here. You've got people who are going to act responsibly, trying to get home at 10 o'clock, who want to use public transport safely at 10 o'clock. It won't be safe because it will now be packed. Um, there are no restrictions on off licenses. So, for example, there's an off license right across the road from GAY Bar on Old Compton Street. What's stopping them selling alcohol and people staying on the streets and drinking? No restrictions there. So there's no protection. I mean, and also the way this is done, it's like we're being given 48 hours notice to suddenly bring in table service. So how do we suddenly bring that in? I mean,
Yeah.
that alone today to bring in that has cost me over £3,000 to bring that into all
Goodness.
venue. Money that we currently don't have.
Well, because
Um,
I was going to say, Jeremy, the financial cost of this to your business is devastating, and it might last for 6 months. And so I presume lots of clubs, lots of bars will just simply go out of business now.
But don't forget, clubs at the moment are not allowed to be open. What we did with Heaven was turn it into a huge bar. So we tried to be innovative and try and create ideas. He's now taken that away from us. Um, the other thing, what he hasn't announced today, which is probably the worst of everything he's done, and I know that he was asked and he avoided the question. When I say he, I mean Boris.
Boris Johnson.
He has not said what will happen. How is he going to protect staff, businesses? He was asked it several times. Are you going to extend furlough? You have reduced all our staff hours, but will you be saying that we can add them back into furlough? Will we be able to increase their hours by furlough? I had a member of staff literally last night, and this kind of says it all, in tears, saying, if you have to close at 10, how will I pay my rent? And I couldn't answer that question because he hasn't answered that question. Where are the answers? If you are going to make these announcements, at least have answers to
Yeah.
questions that we have to ask to our staff. we have a responsibility and duty of care to our staff, and you haven't given us the answers that we need to. It's no point saying, I mean, both Patrick Vallance and Christopher Whitty said, you know, we need to make a balance between obviously keeping people safe, protecting the economy, and also mental health. Well, you haven't done anything to protect mental health because you've got everybody now in a panic. How are they going to eat? How are they going to pay their rent? How are businesses going to survive? You haven't done any of that. What you should have done is made these announcements with all the backup plans in place so that we know that. It's all very well you may announce it in a week, but we don't know that. We don't know what the backup is at the moment. But when you avoid answering questions all day today and you're not going to say anything when you make an announcement at 8 o'clock tonight, what are we supposed to do? How am I supposed to answer my staff who are going to go, where will I get enough money to pay all my bills?
Must be so hard. Jeremy Joseph, nightclub owner, founder of the legendary GAY nightclub. Thank you so much for explaining all of those challenges.